Hello friends, welcome back to my channel and to another Plan With Me video. This week we are planning out the week that was the 15th of April through to the 21st of April, and we are using this absolutely gorgeous kit from Murdoch Talks that I have had in my collection for I can't even tell you how many years. I really loved this kit, and I'd hung on to it and hung on to it and hung on to it, and I finally decided to pull it out of the metaphorical closet, dusted off and laid out in my planner, and I'm so glad that I did. I probably want to come back and do some overlays because I didn't do any overlays because I wasn't sure what foil I wanted to use or if I wanted to use foil on this spread, but I think I have now decided that I would like to, so I'll probably go back and do that. But yeah, like I said, the kit is from Murdoch Talks. I think it's still available in store. And then I do use some underlays, which I think are from Rose Colored Days in Silver. But yeah, that is that. The reason that I chose to use this kit is because that top left-hand box you will see looks like Taylor Swift. I'm pretty sure it's meant to be Taylor Swift because this is a very Taylor Swift inspired kit. You will notice that there is a quote box. It's not really a quote box. It's like a picture box. That I put at the top of Wednesday, and it has a typewriter on it, and it says, "And on a Wednesday in a cafe, I watched it begin again." And then I think, yeah, bottom left also says on the whiteboard, blackboard there, sorry, "Loving him was red." So this is very much a red inspired kit. Red. Love the album. I can't even say that Red is my favorite. Red used to be my favorite album. Then 1989 came out. Then Reputation came out. Then TTPD came out. So my favorite keeps changing. But for a very long time, Red was my favorite album. And this week, I'm pretty sure is the week. Let me find it. Yes. So this is actually the week that TTPD dropped. And at the time, there was like no Taylor Swift kits in circulation. And I was like, I don't know how I'm going to mark this. Like, I wanted to use something fun. And then when I looked through my collection, I was like, Taylor Swift is literally in this kit. And I was like, when else am I going to use a Taylor Swift kit? So I thought it was the appropriate time to pull it out. And then also TTPD, you know, there's talks of typewriter and things like that. There's a typewriter in this. You know, Tortured Poets Department, like poet, cafe, coffee, typewriter. To me, I was like, I can't get any closer. And then, of course, as we know, we had a TTPD art released. Then I think we just had Reputation art released. We had an Eras Tour, like clip art thing released. So we now have a lot of Taylor Swift kits, which I'm probably going to buy and accumulate and use at some point in my life. But yeah, this was to mark the week that the TTPD album dropped. Love the album. So yeah, let's go ahead and get into it all because, again, these Plan With Me's are a lot shorter now. The voiceovers are a lot shorter because I am just trying to pump the content out to get to you guys so that we can get into 2025. So on the sidebar here, because of the format of the kit, thankfully I did have enough boxes, but I've just got the 3 full boxes in the sidebar, and then I've got my highlight of the week. And then this is pretty much a non-eventful kind of week. And the reason that I know that is because when I look at my plans, you can see that I've used flat lays to mark like work for the day. Whereas normally I'll put like a little appointment label or like a box of some kind. And obviously flat lays take up a half box. So that's when you know that I didn't really have much going on. But I guess let's go ahead and start with Monday. So again, first thing that I've marked at the top of the day there is work. Now I have a frog in my throat, of course. But also, just before I go any further, I will just let you guys know that if you haven't been here before and you are new here, I don't actually mention where each individual sticker is from, purely for time at the moment. Again, like I said, particularly because I am just trying to get these voiceovers done. But in 2025, I'm hoping to do more like chatty Plan With Me's and, you know, hopefully be able to tell you where each of the stickers is from because I tend to use a lot of the same stickers nowadays. Every now and then I'm adventurous, but not always. So there is that. But this particular day, I did only do a short day or a half day at work. I do work on a flex agreement, so that basically means that my set hours, I have to work at least 7 hours a day, and any time accrued over that 7 hours then goes towards like our flex agreement, and we can then use that to have like longer lunch breaks. We can use it to like finish early, start late, have days off, all of that. So I did log off early this day because we had a specialist appointment. So in my video the week before this, I did mention that I had to schedule my specialist appointment because at this point we had done 2 egg collections for IVF, and we were gearing up and hoping to do a transfer cycle. So we had to obviously have a meeting with him and chat through our results and, you know, what was kind of next. And he did agree that because we had 3 embryos on ice after the 2 collections, that it would be worthwhile trying to do a transfer. Obviously, no guarantee with a transfer. You know, there are some people out there where they'll do their first transfer and they do get really lucky and the pregnancy sticks and, you know, they go on to have their little miracle baby. But obviously, there's a lot of stories that aren't that way, where people will do 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 10 transfers and years of infertility, which, wild. Don't even want to think about it. But yeah, at this point in time, we were seeking his advice on what we should do next. And I believe, off memory, he did obviously take us through everything, and he did suggest that we do an embryo transfer because obviously if we did get lucky, and we were one of the lucky ones, and the embryo stuck, then we still had 2 on ice that we could use at a later date. And because hubby and I only want 2 babies, they say that ideally we only need 3 embryos that are PGT tested. So for us, ours aren't PGT tested, or they weren't PGT tested because they were decent quality and they were worried about interfering with the quality of the embryos. So we just put them on ice as was, and we thought that transferring, like, it was time. After our specialist appointment, we came back to the local shopping centre and we did a Kmart run, and then I did play some Animal Crossing that afternoon into the evening. And then to finish out Monday, we watched I'm a Celebrity. On Tuesday, I've marked work at the top of the day there, and then after work, I did go to my mum's house, and I marked that we had coffee, because generally when I go to mum's, it's like a coffee and chit-chat kind of situation. I literally then marked that. So I marked coffee, and then I literally separately marked chit-chats and catch-ups, and I also just realized that those croissants are side by side, and now that I've seen it, I can't unsee it. But again, that's how you know I didn't have much going on this day, because I literally marked coffee and chit-chat separately when it was one in the same. I then marked that we watched I'm a Celebrity and that we hung out with our doggos. On Wednesday, I have marked work, and then I marked that I was feeling unwell. I then marked that I did a voiceover, that I booked a dentist appointment. I listened to / watched some ASMR on Twitch. We watched I'm a Celebrity, and I uploaded a Plan With Me video. Then on Thursday, I've marked that it was an office day for me. Usually I would go in on a Wednesday, but apparently I went on a Thursday this week. I don't know why. We probably had something on, so we had to go in on that day, because sometimes they'll force us to go in on a particular day if there's something on or someone important's coming in. So I worked in office this day, which meant that I got McDonald's for breakfast. I marked that I actually got work done this day, which is surprising, because usually when I'm in office, I'm very unproductive because you get distracted. We only go in once a week, and every time we go in, there's different people there. So you're playing catch up, you're saying hello to people you haven't seen in a while, and you just don't get any work done. But this day, apparently I did. I then marked that I had a bit of a TikTok scroll after work. I had a headache, and I uploaded my October 2023 kit lineup. That shows you how behind I am and how long I have been behind. In April of 2024, I was uploading October of 2023, and it just continued. On to Friday. So this was the day that the TTPD album dropped. So first thing I've marked at the top of the day there is that I worked. Then I marked that there was a double album drop. So basically she dropped 20-30 track album called TTPD. And then later on, I don't remember whether it was like half an hour or 2 hours or later that night or whatever it was, but she dropped like a second part to that album. So collaboratively, there was like, I don't know, 30 something songs between the two albums, and it ended up being announced that it was a double album. So she had like one album, then a second album, and then combined them, and it was like a double album release. And with this album, she actually released like a kid-friendly version and like an explicit version. Explicit version is obviously the best one because it's like the real emotion, whereas the child-friendly one is like child-friendly. But yeah, everyone was shocked because not only did she drop the new album, she then released like the secondary album, and then it was like, surprise, double album drop. And let me tell you, from the day that that album was released, I listened to it consistently, like listened to nothing else, like in my car, in my earpods, when I went walking. I listened to that album on repeat over and over and over again for 3 or 4 months without listening to anything else. And even now in 2025, when I'm doing this voiceover, I still have that TTPD album on repeat. But obviously I do change it up. So like I'll listen to it and then I'll play other albums. But it still does regularly come up. I still regularly play it. It's in my like 2024 like wrapped playlist, pretty much the entire album. And I still listen to it a lot. Obviously I don't listen to it every single day on repeat over and over and over again, but I might listen to it like once a fortnight, once every 3-4 weeks, and then just change it out with other things as well. But even on my mixed playlists, like I said, TTPD features heavily. So love the album, probably my favorite. Absolutely shattered that when I went to my Eras tour in February, TTPD had not been released, and once it had, she added that to the tour. So I'm very sad about that. But then I hung out on Twitch that evening. We had some family time and we watched a movie, but I didn't record what movie. Saturday, I marked that we had McDonald's for breakfast. We went to our friend's house, but I don't know which friend's house because there's two that we see a lot. I marked that we had baby cuddles. I marked that I saw a rainbow, which I thought was a good sign. When we got home, I had a lay down. I felt bloated as heck. And then that night we watched a movie called A Windfall. And then finally, let's speed run this to get to the end of the video. But on Sunday, I did mark sleeping in. I then marked that I filmed, that I had a TikTok scroll and a YouTube binge. I then marked that I hung out with the boys meaning my dogs and my husband. And then I marked that we had a pasta bake and garlic bread for dinner and watched I'm a Celebrity. And that is it for this spread. I hope you've enjoyed, and I'll see you all very soon for another one. Bye!